I have not failed, I have just found 10,000 ways that do not work. That is a direct quote from Thomas Edison. I got that quote from Beals Gerald. The title of the article was Thomas Alva Edison, and the website was thomasedison.com. It was copyrighted 1998. Throughout my speech, I'm going to tell you about some of Thomas Edison's inventions, both successful and unsuccessful. First, I will tell you about the incandescent bulb. Second, I will tell you about Thomas Edison and what he did with concrete. Third, and finally, I will tell you about the phonograph. Thomas Edison is known for inventing the incandescent bulb, which is probably what he is known most well for, because we all know that he invented the incandescent bulb. But he began seriously researching the incandescent bulb in 1878, and he first patented his idea for the light bulb in October of that year. At first, Thomas Edison wanted to use platinum as the filament in the light bulb, but platinum was expensive and hard to work with. It was also prone to heating and oxygen weakness. He then moved on to a carbon-based filament, and in 1879 he was successful in creating a light bulb that burned for 13.5 hours. He then demonstrated this light bulb at the Menlo Park, and he later on found out that Japanese bamboo was more successful and burned for 1,200 hours instead of 13.5 hours. Thomas Edison was very persistent in finding new ways to use concrete. He first created the Edison Portland Cement Company in 1904, which didn't really make much business for 4 years, and on the 4th year he decided, since there's no demand for it, he's going to create a demand for it. And in order to create a demand for it, he came out with the new idea of concrete houses. With the concrete houses, his idea was that all of America would be able to have concrete houses because they could be built in a day, and they costed only $1,200 to be built. But the catch was they didn't really work out, and no one wanted to live in the concrete houses. Plus, the builders of the concrete houses first had to spend $175,000 on molds in order to build just a single house, and the molds consisted of more than 2,000 parts, and it weighed almost 500,000 pounds. After his idea on concrete houses failed, he then moved on to concrete furnishings. His concrete furnishings were supposed to be some of the greatest furniture in the world at the time. He was going to use a type of foam concrete which weighed a very small amount of weight compared to other furnishings and costed only $5 to $6 for a couch. Another invention of Thomas Edison was the phonograph. The phonograph is basically a record player. It would play the music recorded on a record. It used tinfoil coated cylinders at first. On August 12, 1877, he was trying to find new ways to use the telegraph and found out that he could use the needle to play human voices back over. And the first words ever recorded were "Mary Had a Little Lamb." I got my information on the phonograph from Goodhart Adam and Thomas Edison's phonograph from Discovery.com, copyrighted 1996. In conclusion, I first talked about the light bulb, which I got my information from Edison's Innovation Foundation, titled Thomas Edison's Light Bulb, from EdisonMuckers.com, copyrighted 2011. Second, I told you about what Thomas Edison did with concrete and his failure with that. And finally, I told you about the phonograph, which Thomas Edison deemed his baby because he loved it so much that he could record voices. So throughout my speech, I told you about some of Thomas Edison's failures and successes, but yet people know him for his successes.